Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Romica Spiegl-Jones. I'm an illustrator and designer based in Manchester. And this is a book and magazine haul for illustrators. These are all relevant for illustrators and people who like beautiful illustration goods. So let's get started. The first 3 books were actually gifts for my birthday and I requested these books. And 2 were more for business and 1 was for pleasure, I would say. So let's start with the business stuff. The first one was this one, Art Inc. This was actually recommended by a fellow illustrator on YouTube, and I've had a look at it and I guess it's good, but it's called Art Inc. and it's for artists. I have to say the illustration side of it is very short. I felt that, that illustration and licensing is about that much of this book. I don't know if you can see this, so it's less than half, it's maybe a third. I thought it was interesting, but it was somehow nothing new to me, except for the working with galleries part. I've not read the whole thing, so maybe it's a bit early to say this, but I think if you are completely new, then this is a very good book. It covers a lot of different topics, from setting up your business to promoting your business to licensing, and in some way it's good for starting, but I feel like maybe I'm slightly already beyond that stage, because I've already set up my business. I'm now reaching out to clients, and I feel like certain aspects of it maybe are not covered enough. But it's a good overview. So I think this book, I would say, is a good overview. So I might actually give this away after I've read it, because I feel, maybe my sister-in-law, who's a fine artist, might benefit more from this. But it's good to know that, you could also, as an illustrator, consider yourself as a fine artist, depending on the work you do. I've not actually seen myself as a fine artist, as an artist. But it's interesting. So I'll continue reading it and I'll give my verdict maybe another time. But if you are starting and you are a fine artist, this might be a really good book for you. Next is the Illustrator's Guide to Law and Business Practice, and this is by the AOI. Actually, this is the first time I open this book. So I cannot say anything about this book yet, but the reason why I wanted to buy it was that it's constantly mentioned as one of the books you should have as an illustrator. So what's in here: agents, royalty agreement, copyright, contracts, negotiating, 14 rules to keep you out of trouble, ethics, what you should be aware of when people grab your rights, code of conduct. I think this is definitely helpful, because you don't want to get ripped off as an illustrator if you do this for a living. So as I'm in the beginning of my career, this is definitely a very helpful book that I want to read and consult. So thank you for this, my dear family. And the last one I wanted was this. It's the new book by Isabelle Arsenault. It's Colette's Lost Pet. And I love her work. If you follow this channel, you know that I love her work. And I've already spoken about a few other books, which you can find linked below if you're interested in this other book haul I did. And it's basically about Colette and how she moves into a new neighborhood, and then she would like to connect to the other children in the neighborhood, but she doesn't know how, and she starts making up a lost pet. And then from step to step, all these children try to help her, and every time they say, maybe this person could know about this pet, where it went. And then they basically tell the whole story of how it looks like, and she starts to invent more and more, like the size, and until the end where it becomes so crazy that it's hard to believe. But it all ends well. So this is a very, very, very beautiful book. What I liked about it is the limited color palette. As you can see here, just a little bit like inside. This is the end papers, and I love how how simple it is and how beautiful. I think that's her, let's say her gift, I think, that she can communicate so much. I love her lines. This is one of the first pages, so when she moves in. And just one more page here, how, yeah, you can expect a kind of more graphic novel style here. And yeah, like I said, very limited color palette. And actually, for me it's quite new to have speech bubbles in a picture book, but I guess maybe it is actually more a graphic novel than a picture book. Also has quite a lot of pages. And here's another one. I don't know. I think it's very pretty. So this is just a little insight. I would highly recommend this book. It's very lovely. It's very beautifully illustrated. I always say the same stuff, but it's fun. It's uplifting. I find it very, very beautiful. Yeah. Anyways, sounds like it's repetitive, but I would only show you things I actually really enjoy when it comes to books. And when I say beautiful, I really do mean, personally I feel they're very, very beautiful. The color palettes, the layout, the design, yeah. And I found it very interesting, I don't know if you noticed this, but what I noticed is I personally always thought that, you know, as an illustrator you would kind of stay with one style, right? For example, the way you do eyes, or especially eyes and features or noses. And I think she, for me, proves that you don't have to, and it doesn't look weird. So for example here, if you look at it, this nose, they're all very, very different. And the eyes as well, like I think every single child has different eyes on this page. Which I think, oh sorry, which I think is really cool. Yeah. So, awesome. That's basically it. And one more thing though, is I finally bought a Flow magazine. I didn't actually know exactly where you can get them, I never saw them. And I bought this at the airport when I came back from Austria. And yeah, it's a very, very beautiful magazine. Interesting interviews and insights. It's this, for example, is an illustration by, what is her name? Jelena Briksenkova. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but this is basically one of those illustrations. Yeah, so it's very, very beautifully designed, full of illustration and beautiful photography, and very interesting topics, so illustrators are going to love this. But if you're an illustrator, you probably know Flow magazine. I think I'm quite late buying an issue. Very nice. Subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you next time.